Hello everyone, so I will be doing my July wrap up. For the month of July, I read 6 books, which I'm pretty proud of myself. I usually get to read around like 2 or 3, so let's get started. The first book I read was In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. This is a true crime novel about the killings of 4 of the members of the Clutter family in a small town in Kansas in 1959. So the book starts off with days leading up to the murders and what the family did. Then it goes into the murders and the investigation. Then it goes into the killer's childhood and the motives and what they did after the murders. So I really liked this book at parts. Like I was on the edge of my seat. I couldn't put it down, but other parts really bored me. It was well written, and I liked that they went into the childhood of the killers and went in such great details about the killers because I find that fascinating. I want to know what makes a person do what they do, and so that part I really liked. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The second book I read in July was Home by Harlan Coben. So this is a mystery crime novel about, it takes place after 10 years after 2 young boys go missing and one of them finally returns home. I gave this 3.5 stars on Goodreads, and that is because this is the first book I read by this author, and this is like the 11th book in the series. This can be read as a standalone, but the main characters like Myron and Wynne are in the other books, and so I wanted to know more about them and their background. It's like James Patterson and the Alex Cross series. You can read those books alone, but you don't get to know about the background of Alex Cross. So that's why I gave it 3.5s. Otherwise, I liked the mystery aspect of it, and it was a good book. The third book I read in July was The Body of Christopher Creed by Carol Plum-Ucci. This is about the disappearance of Christopher Creed. He was bullied all his life. Like, he was labeled like the class freak, and so when he disappears, it changes people's lives because they're wondering what happened to him, and they start pointing fingers at people. So this does have sensitive subject of bullying and suicide. So I found this book okay. It's an easy read, but there's nothing special about it, so I gave it 2 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The fourth book I read was Snow White and the Huntsman by Lily Blake. So this is about like the evil queen locks Snow White up, and when she escapes, she hires a huntsman to track her down and kill her. So like the movie, I found this just to be okay. I wasn't really impressed. It had all the elements to be a great book, like the evil queen, the creepy forest, Snow White being a warrior, but it just fell flat for me. So the fifth book I read was Requiem by Lauren Oliver. This is the 3rd book in the Delirium series. I did not enjoy this book. I liked the first book in the series, but the second and the third one I did not like. And that is mainly because of the love triangle. I don't like it when romance takes over the main story, and that's what it happened here. It was all about the love triangle. I finished this book because I wanted to know what happened about the invalids and they're trying to take over. I didn't really care about the romance, and so that kind of ruined the series for me. If you like romance and love triangles, then this book might be for you. I just didn't like that part, and so that's why I didn't like it. The last book I read was Ready Player One by Ernest, Cline. This made my geeky heart so happy. Takes place in the year 2045 where chaos reigns and most people escape into the virtual world of Oasis. So James Halliday, the creator of Oasis, put Easter eggs into the world, and so upon his death, the person who finds all the Easter eggs will win his entire state. So Wade Watts, a teenager, is the first one to discover the clue, and so he finds out that people will kill to win the ultimate prize. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I'm a big video game fan, and all the references to movies and shows that I love, like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, The Goonies, Doctor Who, just made me so happy. This book had me on the edge of the seat. In the beginning, I was a little upset because the girl was just a love interest, and so that kind of bothered me since gamer girls aren't really taken serious to begin with, and I just didn't want her to be the love interest. But in the end, she turned out to be very useful, and so that made me very happy, and so I highly recommend this book. That is all the books I read in the month of July, so like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!